I just figure you're you, you know? And I'm me, and that's where we are. So, what can old Mudtooth do for you, huh? Careful now. My answers are known to lead to more questions. Quite a bit, stranger. The name's Mudtooth, and ain't nobody been around longer or seen more than I have. Except maybe old Ford, of course, but that old mudder cheats. Anyway, he hardly tells any of his stories. Only 3 reasons why folks come to see me, and that's my stories or my stew. Yeah. So, young'un, what'll it be? You bet your apple I can, but these ain't just stories, stranger. They're objective retellings of legitimate occurrences what you wouldn't believe. Now, where to start? You met my boy Brabus yet? He's a handful, that one. Always has been. Got into a scrap when he was 5, he did. Knocked down a boy had to be, twice his age. And 3 to 6 times his height, at least. Well, that boy's pa didn't take it none too well. And this pa, phew, like a pair of fists with leg bones. That boy's pa wanted to take some skin out of me for it. Now, I ain't proud of what I did next, but, oh, who am I kidding? I wouldn't be telling you if I weren't proud, now would I? But, like I taught Brabus, say as I do as I say. And anyways, I couldn't back down from a fight. Not in front of the crazy 8. Come to think of it, that's probably how Brabus got the way he is. Anyway, I fight the man. He could have crushed my head between market and roast beef, but I aimed to win, not fight fair. I pointed at nothing at all behind him, then smooshed a scoop of mud straight into his mouth. Then, while he was a-spitting and a-sputtering, I hit him hard. So hard that when he fell, my muddy hand came away with 3 of his teeth in it. And that, friend, is the true story of how I got the name Mudtooth. You won't believe this one, but you should. Let me tell you what those folks are up to in that atoll, that Ward 10 and 7. That was where they did their experimenting, see? They made weapons for the USA. That's what this land was called back then. And the root, you see, they were cloned. Yes, sir. They found root D and A trapped in red amber, and they done built themselves an army. But this army, it got out of hand and turned against them. Couldn't tell the difference between the Usanayans and whatever else there was. Pretty good weapon, if you ask me. Nigh on slaughter the whole damn world. Makes you think, though. What else were them Usanayans capable of? Maybe it's for the best they ain't around no more. Don't think I told you this one yet. Ain't no one on this planet more beautiful or dangerous than the Moth Queen. She rules an old swamp about 100 miles off in, that direction. Folks say if you climb one of these here towers on a clear night, you can see the swamp lights a-flashing. But them ain't no ordinary swamp lights. And she ain't no ordinary queen. She don't lead her people, who really ain't even people, come to think of it. Anyways, the Moth Queen draws her folk to her like a... well, like a moth, I guess. That's how the saying goes. Anyway, she captures folks with her beauty and her mothy pulchrituditude. And she never lets them go. She infects their mind so they never want to leave. And she turns them into something else. If you head off that way, keep your wits about you. 'Cause that swamp used to be a city as big as this'n. But no more. No more. You won't believe this one. Budget. Crazy 8 traveled a lot after leaving Sanctuary. Came to this one town named a Ghost Well. No, Oak Hole. No, wait. It was Swan Creek. Swan Creek, I'm sure of it. Anyway, this Croakswell town didn't take kindly to strangers, and that sure as hell meant us. We stayed anyway, course. Brought 'em good scrounge, we did. Nobody scavenged like the Crazy 8. And there was this girl, smartest damn girl you ever met. Her old man, though, he didn't like us one bit. Especially me. So, one day, there's a banging on our doorstep, and I go to open it, and... Of course I'm awake. Now, her old man, though, he didn't like us one bit, especially me. So, one day, there's a banging on our doorstep. I open the door, and the girl's old man clocks me with the butt of his shotgun. Knocked out one of my teeth, he did. Then, he points the gun in my face and starts shouting. Which one of you assly hoes got her in the family way, he says. I know it was one of you. Well, I ain't gonna argue with a man behind a gun. So, I looks around, sees Mudtooth in the mud, and says, Mudtooth, he's the one you're after. And off he ran after someone who don't exist. Or didn't exist, I guess. We ditched Ghost Crack that day, but the name came with me. And that's the story of how Brabus was born. Except he weren't born yet, was he? Not born then. The other thing. Conceptualized. Sure can. Let's see. Ho-ho! You heard about the old wards, right? Hell, you should have. You're on top of one. The wards were where the root were born. Government experiments, you understand. Well, the oldest one, Ward Goose Egg it's called, was where it all started. And that's where it was worst, see? So this mad scientist by the name of, let me see now, what was his name? Leto was his name. He says there's only one way we can stop what we made and save the world. So he flies his heliopopper. They flew back in those days, see, that's what they were built for. And he looks down at the ward where the root are pouring out like ants. And he says, blow that sucker up. And boy, they did. Blew the whole damn thing. Didn't stop the root, though. I mean, obviously. Stop me if I told you this one already. You met old Wally yet? The boy ain't right, but not in a mudder way. He just ain't right. Talks to the root, he says. I reckon I know why, too. I ain't never told him this, but I was there at his birth. Don't believe me? You wouldn't be the first, but it's true. That boy Wally was born under a blood moon. Always strange, they say. Harbinger of changification and whatnot. I heard him cry out his first breath I did, and I says to myself, that ain't natural. Like the squall of some blackbird. Caw-caw! Don't tell him I said it. He wouldn't believe it anyway. Or maybe he would, come to think of it. You talked to him yet? Boy ain't right. Sure can. Let's see. Ho-ho! I ever tell you about the time I killed 300 deadwood in one go? Whoo, that's a tale. So, I lived up in this old, Heliochapataka or whatchahoozits, great sniper's nest. Let me pop off deadwood from a mile away. But one night, I wake up to a rustling and a howling, right? I look outside, and there's these, But one night, I wake up to a rustling and a howling, right? I look outside, and there's deadwood all around the place, hundreds of them. But they don't stop coming, and I'm thinking, this is finally it. But then, I see tucked away behind an old building the cracked open end of an old gas main. So, I squint my good eye and pray to Kennedy, Jeebus, and Cash. And I squeeze the trigger, and my bullet flies through the air like a hawk to a coney. Caw-caw! It scrapes the pipe, and boom! Whole damn horn goes up in flames. Not a single one of them left. Deadwood never did bother me after that. Stop me if I told you this one already. I ever tell you about the Shrouded King? No, it ain't a book. It's real, I tell you. Real as every damn story I know. He's the king of another world, see? And his world was overrun by the root just like ours. Or at least it was gonna be. The Shrouded King, he got his people together to draw as much power as he could from his own ding-dang-dingity son. Used it to make himself a weapon. Soon as the root showed up, he fired the damn thing. Now the king, he knew what was about to happen, but he didn't tell nobody. That weapon weren't just gonna scorch the root. No, it scorched the whole dim darn dingity world. Burned the deadwood to hell out of there. Killed half his kingdom and twisted the other half into something unrecognizable. And that's why he wears a shroud, see? Because he done twisted himself in the process. But he don't want no one to see the mangledy bits of his face parts. Ho, 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 ho! Here's a good one. I ever tell you how the world fell in the first place? Well, sit down, friend, 'cause there ain't no one knows what really happened but me. It started in them wards, see? Secret military-industrial complexes and whatnot. That's where they made all their weapons and did their experiments. Now, the root weren't meant to reproduce, see? They was built as a weapon, but then they done breeded and got out. And well, we all know what happened after that. Only reason the root stopped was 'cause the Wanderer, well, he flamethrower-sized their queen, see? Over in that tower on the atoll, so's they couldn't breed no more. Now, listen. You might hear Ford tell you something different, but you look at the two of us and ask which has obviously been around longer. Which of us is most like to have been there, huh? You ask yourself that, and then you just look my way, 'cause that's who it is. Sure can. Well, let's see. I ever tell you the secret behind my stew? Well, I ain't gonna. But I will tell you how it came to be, yeah? The original recipe comes from my ma, of course. But that ain't the end of the story. My ma made a fine stew, but it weren't nothing to go tell tales about. Not until the day me and the Crazy Eight got ourselves trapped in one of them old, medieval, meditating, No, I'm awake. My ma made a fine stew, but it weren't nothing to tell tales about. Not until the day me and the Crazy Eight got ourselves trapped in one of them old, medieval, meditating... We was trapped in one of them medicinal compounds full of pharmaceuticals and whatever you call them. And I had nothing but a dead coney and an onion on my belt, which weren't good for much but were the style at the time. So we scrounged for ingredients. Well, them hospitalities ain't no good for food, but they do have some pretty mean spices lying around if you know what you're doing, which I do. That night was the best stew any of us ever had in our lives. Kept us going for days, until finally the dead wood outside got bored and took off. And that, friend, is the same stew I make today. I even use the same ingredients as them back in the day medicinals. Better even. Don't think I told you this one yet. Long time ago, when I was just 10 years old or so, I moved to a place called Sanctuary. Sanctuary was true to its name. It was a place where folks came to be free from the dead wood, to protect each other. A lot like this place. Boy, Sanctuary had everything. Folks there had working engines and roads filled with fruit trees. But Sanctuary had this one thing I ain't never seen since. They called them movers, and I can still see them in my mind. See, they'd hook up this battery, right? Only it weren't storing power, but stories. They'd hook it up to a wheel and a light, and bam! Whole worlds just show up on the wall. Talking rabbits and stuttering pigs and this one real surly duck. Maybe it's something like Ford's old crystals. Except you couldn't walk into the movers. Believe me, I tried. Nah, they just played for you, sound and all. Transporting you to another place. Maybe that's where I got my love of stories, huh? Never really thought about it till now. You won't believe this one. This city ain't without its own tales. Why, there's a tower, see? What only appears once in a gibbous August moon. Kinda looks like a big yellow-orange pumpkin. And within that tower is a man. Except he's not a man. He's a wizard, see? He calls himself the Keeper, and he controls everything. I've seen him myself. Even talked to him once. Man's smart as hell. So smart, even I can't keep up with him. He says he watches over all of us. But if that's the case, then he ain't been doing such a good job. I mean, look around you. But I reckon he means well. And that tower, I think, is like a spaceship he uses to teleportate to other planets. You go walk the city in a harvest pumpkin moon. You'll see what I mean. Don't think I told you this one. So I was on a scrounge with the Crazy Eight. That was my gang back in the day. We came across this old hospital, see? But the Root had found those folks same time we did. Now the Crazy Eight, they were all for running. We got 88 problems, they'd say, and dead folks ain't one of them. But not me. I knew those folks needed help. Also, knew they had food and meds. So I fought for them, tooth and nail, literally a-biting and a-chewing the damn deadwood off me. When it was over, the Crazy Eight come up to me, and I just smile at them. with root bits stuck all over my teeth. Looked like mud, they said. There you go, Mudtooth. Name stuck ever since. Ha 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 ha! Here's a good one. You want to know the truth about young Bo over there? To start off with, the boy ain't all that young. I mean, sure, he ain't nothing to old Mudtooth, but ain't a lot of folks around who remember him as a boy no more. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you. That boy made a deal with the... No, I'm awake. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you. Bo Ward, he made a deal with the Wanderer. Don't believe me? It was Bo who met the Wanderer at Old Ward 10 and 3. And it was Bo who took him over to that Ward goose egg, the one where the root started. And he won't admit it, but it was Bo what rescued Clementine and shut the door on the dead wood for good. The boy's more than he tells, and a good deal more than he knows. Why else would folks around here put him in charge of everything? Sure can. Let's see. Ho-ho! There's an old man what lives at the center of a maze. Or does he live at the gate to the maze? It don't matter. This old man sees everything. And I don't mean like he can see whatever he wants when he wants. I mean, he sees everything all at once. That ain't all. The old man in the maze is a maker. The maze, see, is like a spider web full of doors, stretching its threads every which way. And this watcher man sits at the center. And he don't just watch. He makes. Where there ain't a door, he makes one. And then he makes what's on the other side of it, too. Ho, I can see on your face you ain't buying it. But I tell you, this earth of ours is just one door in a dozen hundred. And if in this maze watcher decides he wants someplace to end, all he got to do is snap a thread and poof, no more door, no more world. Sure can. Let's see. Ho! So I gotten separated from the Crazy Eight, my gang, you see. We've been chased by this big old deadwood, taller than a man with 10 times as many pointy bits. The others, they holed up in this old... There was no way in, but I weren't gonna stay out there. I come busting out of the... I stand up, covered in mud. And that, friend... Let me see. You ever wonder what the world was like? The world was fit. Now, these folks weren't like us nowadays. They had so much food that they would eat for fun. They'd get together to eat the extra meat. They had spare ribs, called it a barbecue. They were immune to all kinds of diseases. And every one of them, every one, had a puppy. Huh. And that there world was run... No. And the world was run by, let's see here. What was it now? A presidentures. Yeah, that's it. On account of the ceremonial wooden teeth. Whole damn world was ruled by the presidentures of the United States. Yes, sir. It was a better time then. Folks resolved their differences by coming together. Oh, I guess that's what young Bo's trying to do with this. I reckon you gotta go through the bad to get to the good again. It's always there waiting if you just keep on looking. Stop me if I told you this one all. Did I tell you I once sailed across that ocean to that old rusted tower? It was after that wanderer came through here and cleared out the storm. Old Mudtooth's crazy, you know, but I ain't stupid. I tell you, I saw things down there in that rusted place. It was just machinery. and roots twisting every which way, like the root themselves had built it. But they didn't. No, that old place was called Ward 10 and 7. You can see it plastered all over, and it was built by humans. By the folks Ford himself used to serve, if you can believe that. Oh, he'll deny it, I'm sure. But all them electronicals they got down there are the same damn things you'll find in old Ward 10 and 3. In that place, I know he found it. He's the founder, after all. What were they up to down there? Now, that's the question. I heard some answer. It's about the time my own damn son left me to die. Oh, don't worry, I'm still here, ain't I? Or he went to get some grub for... We was on our way from the city to... Now, I don't mind telling you, we fought the rest... Let me see. I do miss the days when you could find the stuff the old world used to make. Canned food. Oh, found this old can of what's-it once. As in, we literally did not know what was... Finding that was like, oh, that can must have been 100 years old, banged up and bloated. Could have been anything, and, well, I ain't one to back down from some... Damn stuff. I chugged off. I nearly puked when I threw the can aside. The bull... They stayed that... Sure can. So this wanderer comes up to visit me at my heliocopter, right? They're dick. I'm thinking they'll get tired, wander off, and take my story somewhere else like all the rest. But they don't. They listen to all of it. And I think to myself, this mutter actually wants to hear these. Just pausing for Drant. And I think to myself, this mutter actually wants to hear these. Reminds me of my ma, tell you the truth, the way that wanderer reminded me of family. And that's the most important thing, ain't it? So I figured, ain't too long after that, my boy Brabus comes back in person, first time in years, with a watch chain peeking out his pocket. I knew a good thing when I saw it. I didn't say nothing. Just welcomed the boy back like nothing had changed. Family's the most important thing we got in this world, young'un. Don't forget that. Stop me if I told... I've been telling tales about the Ford family for years. Like old Commander Ford, one who used to run this... They say she's dead and buried. See, the old commander were the youngest. But she, crazy old man, went and fought her grandmother was half Root herself. Folks used to call her the Root Mother. The thing about the Fords is, they can't. I don't care what anyone says. I swear to you, this is 100. You've been introduced to that girl Clementine. Powerful woman she is, but she weren't always so. She's near as old as Ford is, if you can believe it. Even older than my old bones. How about it? Those two have a lot in common, including traveling to other worlds. You see, she was born on Earth, but Clementine spent 100 years on a snow world called Resome. They call it that on account of some you read and some you don't. Anyway, what was she doing all that time? Training. See, Resome's full of giant talking rats. You got warrior rats and midwife rats and even mystic rats. Clementine, she learned under the tutelage of a two-headed mystic named Sebum. Taught her everything she knows. She don't talk about it, of course, on account of Sebum's a wanted man. Stop me if I... Back when the earth fell, a dragon. A real root. It started in them wards, see? Your eyes only hush-hush military conspiracizing farms and whatnot. That's where they made all their weapons and did them. And just like those tales, it took a night to slay this dragon. Oh, ho, ho, but the dragon was crap. Yep. The dragon took the form of a talking tree and told the knight if they wanted to slay a cyclops, a living statue, what do you call them? Golem. Well, the knight slayed them all. But the thing was, these beasts weren't protecting the dragon. They were holding him back. So when the dragon finally did reveal itself, it was too strong. Well now, I appreciate a listener as good as any. Stu is... So long as you head back then, huh?
Your timing is fortuitous, cub. It's been long since I've seen one of your kind. But then, what is time to a god? Yourself clever, cub. Let me guess. You're here on a quest. Surprise, surprise. The river's path is fluid and yet irresistible. Obstacles serve to make it grow stronger and clearer of purpose. But somehow no wiser. Walk with me, cub. I will explain. Last of your kind left me for dead. That is when they found me and offered me their enlightenment. Blind was I, until they opened my eye to the lies of permanence. Oh, the feeble empress craves her fruit, tries to guzzle immortality. But all things die, cub, even gods. Theirs is mastery of death. The all that is. So I offer the choice they offered, come. Return to the ash from which we all came. Or break the yoke of balance and become eternal. But the bridge between ego and soul cannot be crossed without paying a toll. Here bleeds the lie. Here mules the old order. Kill it. Kill the dough, and we shall seal our pact. Radiation of this pest. This lie. Coward! You can't run from death!
For what does it bless me today? Can it be? It must. For Paxultek have done this and more among the Pan. Truly its kind are remarkable and terrifying. Know that what it has faced threatened all of Yesha. Friend Paxultek has done a great thing of which songs must be sung. Quite so. Paxultek have graced this world for generations. The Wanderer. Alas, songs are not. May it return again.
Okay, this is it. won't fit. Great. More bad news.
Better be worth it. What did you bring? Okay, that's all you get. Bye now.
How goes it? So long.
Real pretty. Yep. I don't trust this place. Never seen anything like this before. Okay, this is it. Okay, this is it. Here we go. Here they come.
traveler.
Great. More bad news.
Blade and spear, shield and stone. To arms, they come. They, what? A Paxeltech. A terrible wonder, even for one who has seen many wonders. If its kind walk Yesha foreigner, then surely the wheel of the world is set to turn again. Perhaps. Perhaps it will grind me at last. Pain now outweighs peace in the measure of my days. God murderer. The traveler tried once. She came upon me, that first light, when the dew had not yet fallen from the grass. A carpenter, and daughter of a carpenter who was a carpenter's son. The branches took her at once. I wonder if her saw is still clenched within her fair hand. How came I to this wretched state? Its eyes reached the question before its tongue left home or hearth. The tumbling ruin beneath its tender pads was once a fortification, an encircling bulwark to the greatest conurbation ever brought forth on Yesha's soil. Such faith we put in its solidity. Merchant and marshal, peasant and prince, their souls kneeled at the altar of within and without. But a wall is a false god, built to crumble. The only thing a wall ever truly divides is a fool from his wisdom. The rifts open swiftly. They split the bulwark stone as a hot needle kisses the onion skin of a boil, and the pus poured through on tangled wooden limbs. Yes, the final calamity. Their numbers endless. They rushed upon us like a river in flood. The end began. Teeming with life. The sun has never shone on a city greater, ruined, so that I might not even visit it in dreams. Charnel. By the root. Yes. The final calamity. For 40 days, we fought them on these steps. The soldiers fell first, then the officers. Then they called upon the priests. We knew the children would be next. And so, we flung our very bodies into the breach. Some were torn apart like green shoots in a glutton's teeth. Others were swallowed whole and vanished from the sphere. I stuck, anguished cork in a malign bottle. It seethes around me. It waits to disgorge its grotesqueries once more upon Yesha's scalded skin. Please, Paxotech, wanderer, it who would do right, put its edge to this cursed snarl. Vent its rage upon it. We Laenir are no strangers to the last voyage. Destroy the knot.
Out of room. I'm in trouble.
God damn it.
Am I? Is this real? Or has insensate madness claimed me? Paxaltech, I have not tasted air unmixed with the foul humors of the tangle in an age's age, nor did I dream that I ever might again, much less feel the soft touch of good soil beneath my hooves, or the kiss of the wind on my free fur. Faithless, faithless have I been, and yet Paxaltech came, with war in its right hand, and temperance in its left. The Paxaltech came, and I am saved. Two-handed warrior. It has my allegiance, whatever may come. Paxaltech have a gift for death, this much is true, but they are not all destroyers. Perhaps if it fights with us, perhaps it will yet be crushed under the wheel of time. Take this. Though it be a relic of Willamer,
Remnant 1 pa ako eh.
wield it in defense of life.
Ha? Ngayon, biling ko na ngayon. Wait lang.
Ano to, sabi ko na hapon, di mo pag binili ka hapon.
Eh lang.
I shall linger here
Nakalimutan ko eh.
a while.
Dali mo ko eh. Bili ko ngayon.
Many are those who fell
Maganda ba? Talaga maganda.
footsteps. No, some are
nilalaro eh.
not but
Maganda naman.
bones. They each deserve the funeral.
Hindi, anong mas nakakaaliw?
loyalty.
1 o 2?
These I shall endeavor to complete
Halos
with
kakasimula ko lang na
whatever time is left to me. If
Mas
its
maraming
road
world
should
yata eh.
ever wind this way again, yes, There are yet
Hinard mo, normal lang.
I might tell it
Hard.
if it cares
Hard.
to be
Veteran nga tayo
mentioned.
tawag nila dito.
On the contrary,
Send money.
it has been
May
ages since
e-wallet.
I felt
I-install mo pa yun.
so very much alive.
Oh, di habang naglalaro tayo ng one.
Let
Madali lang naman yung akin eh.
be properly introduced.
Ano internet niyo ulit?
Converge.
I
Ba't
was
ang bilis?
100 Mbps.
host of the lamer,
Yung sa'yo ba?
priest of the dead.
Eh, sinabi ko kay mama. Sabi ko kay mama, yung pang company yung gamitin natin eh.
I had known
May in-offer sila sa amin eh.
Kaya pala.
Kasi mga email tsaka ano.
for many
Eh,
the high
okay naman si mama.
fear the flow.
Ang dami
Pero ginagamit lang namin sa laro eh.
ang dami ng mga nagmomotor dito na
Nag-iingay?
There are other ways
Nag-iingay?
banggay.
Ganun rin dito sa amin. Putay lang yan. Mga ano yan. Mga Taugama tsaka mga ano. Arko.
The Empress dreamed of
Akro?
defeating this fire.
Taugama tsaka Akro.
If life could be
Bakit
taken,
nag-iingay sila?
could it not?
Eh, alam mo naman mga gangster shit.
The flesh was preserved against that question.
Kinumpronta dati ni mama yung isa dun eh. Nagalit. Nagalit siya eh.
Ano sabi?
Mga mayayabang kasi.
Of the deathless,
Nagsusolicit dito sa bahay. Tapos sabi daw, mayaman daw kami. Sabi ni mama, mayaman kami. Nagtatrabaho lang kami. Napikon siya eh.
seals the secrets of the
Nagtatrabaho lang kami kayo kasi hindi yung gangster yung ano nyo. Magtrabaho kayo. Gano'n ni mama eh.
we guarded the flesh of the great, and so
Nagsusolicit para sa ano, sa intrams nila.
among these trusted sacred paths,
Dami-dami nilang connection. Nag-solicit pa
was
sa mga
the
bahay-bahay.
utmost
Oo, nagpapasok. Hindi kasi, hindi naman lahat kasi ano.
permanence.
Magkano ba?
Or fool I, but
Ano to? 1,000. Add funds. Kaso 1,000.
much would I have it
Hindi
known,
visa.
and to know
Gcash.
all, it must know what is first. Would it hear the history of the pan? In the time before time, the pan lived in the place that was. It is said that there came a great
Alipay.
plague that ravaged the land.
Nagaganyan yan sila. Nagsusulisit. Buti nga sa inyo, wala nagsusulisit dyan eh.
Bones of the dead,
Naka-lock yung gate namin. Pag nakapasok.
of the bereft, with his flock drowning in woe. The
Return to
leader
merchant.
Nakita nga kanina ang lalaki na nakamotor na puro tato eh. Hindi ko alam ba't dumami sila dito. Wala namang ganyan dati dito.
to hold
Boss, ano? Lumalawak na yung ano nila, connection.
the faces
Yung iba dyan.
fighting the waves before them
Tapos nanggugulo pa.
were venture
Nanggugulo kaya yan.
the Vilgmarza
Pag hindi mo na pagbigyan.
through the long night. The fawn sprayed,
Gcash,
Paano
kulang.
nanggugulo?
widows wept.
Nanggugulo yung pabalik-balik na pinupuntahan yung bahay mo.
The far shore, 100 days,
Yun nga, yung nag-iingay ng motor, papadaanan yung bahay niyo.
100 nights, through their swaddling.
Nababa na si mother ng ganyan eh.
On the 101st day, as the Red Widow in the foremost ship bowed her
Kasi walang ano, walang diretso 1.5 puta.
faces
1,000 plus 500.
lit between
Ano
them,
ba? Ano ginagawa mo?
Nagta-top up
to the pan.
Hindi pa
ng pangbili.
sa Gcash. Eh, ganun nga no?
Kaya nga, yung Gcash kasi, ay yung ano kasi, yung Steam wallet, ang kwan kasi, 200, 400, tas 1,000 eh. Meron na akong ditong ano, may 1.5 ako. Tapos 1.1 yung ano. Kaya na kailangan pang, walang 1.5 eh. Kailangan mo pang hihiwala yung 500 pagbigay eh.
Colked the woebegone, on, and at last, as Colked the wise, quick of blade was he in his youth, a fearsome general who watered the tree of progress with the lifeblood of many enemies. But the exploits of youth brought Colked no peace in age. They say he took the
Di wala ka palang lakad, boss.
judgment against his warlike eye. Fate offered a choice: flee the land of his fathers, or end
at gmail.com.
Tolkien hesitated no more in pilgrimage than he had in war. He
Libo.
raised up ships as once he had raised
Fund transfer.
regiments. He sailed
papakin
from the
dito
place
na
that was
pagain yung mga
with
nakamotor.
a heart full of hope.
Hindi, malalakas kasi yung kapit ng iba niyan eh.
Never to see Asia's shores. He
Paano
passed
kung may mas malakas
in
yung kapit?
peace
Yun yung
before
papakin.
the crossing's end,
Oo nga.
greeting
Hindi,
death.
takot rin yun kasi yun nga sila, gang. Nang kukuyog ang puta. Nang kukuyog yun eh.
The god of many faces had been with the pan.
Ayun,
in
1,000.
a place that was longer. Now
Magkano ba?
speak of it
200.
for its
Add
guardianship.
funds.
It was a god.
Gcash.
As to soil
Continue.
beneath us. A god one could
Pay to
visit, a god
Smart Pay.
could touch. It
Add
raised
3 terms.
more reliant. In those days, there was no emperors. It was only a Greek divorce. Spoke for it had been ever
Ayun, nakala ko kasi bibilhan ako ng girlfriend ng kapatid ko. Regaluhan kami, hindi pa nagbibigay.
where it walked.
Yan. Return to merchant.
Desperate were these, and why not? The dog, it leaps among the shrub. There are
Store.
those who think the carpenter make her spirit rock. Those who glimpse the doe often glimpse the wolf. Yeah,
Ibig sabihin mo na boss, meron ka pang walang,
early
meron ka pang hindi natatapos na world dyan.
to hear of
Sa Remnant to.
different
Marami pa.
Simula ko nga lang.
and only one symbol is what must it be to spend an eternity chasing that which for the wolf
Remnant
and
to
the dog
1173.
have often met. The dog
Buti nga, nagmura eh.
spill the wolf's blood and the
View
wolf
page.
may taste the doe's flesh, but never the other's life to take. Yesha itself forbids it. They
Ay!
say the chase
Ano bang binili mo boss? Deluxe Ultimate Edition?
wolf cries
Standard.
with
Wala.
the assurance of the Vaughns, the
Special
path
promo.
to Yesha and she to us.
Hmm.
And for man were
Special.
born one such. She was but fit
Standard.
Ang daldal na
as
ito.
Genus
Kausap na
approached, and it was the Red Widow, but Genus's malady to her, to the elder Genus was shot. None among them could have foreseen plague-ridden
DLC
and
bundle.
after many days, Japan were
Hindi nga, kulang.
fascinated. Genus spoke
Buisit,
of
kulang.
Pan,
Bilhin ko na lang yung kasama yung DLC pag diretso.
three. The Pan
Mahirap kasi pag ano.
Genus rose to power on this by spread the Red Widow
Bilhin ko na yung kasama yung DLC.
jungle. It is, suffice to say, and yet, many seasons in her the Thane. 500
Diretso na.
many
Gcash,
magic
continue.
those that lived long
I agree.
now as young. She had
Smart to
been
pay.
reborn a second time. For years, many succumbed by the 21st. It was they whom it was no plague has touched.
Stream mo nga yung gameplay mo boss, para makita ko.
Much mistaken.
Sa ano.
Ni-record ko naman. Pati yung usapan natin dun sa mga nakamotor.
Genus and her immortal
Napadun na tayari tayo.
heretofore
Gago.
great
Di naman tayo kilala dun eh.
hewn from the living rock, and at their feet grew great cities. Genus, what of the great, but none were. No, it was then. But 49, they traded favor. They called it the Ravager. The very obsidian beast the Vaughn's of old had glimpsed, and it sprang from the jungle as sudden as fear fell like night. There were those who would, but the Ravager was never much. The green things of the jungle sprang. Who knew what would become of the? Who knew what would become of the Thane tree? It was the Vaughns had pondered the beast since it first appeared to them on Yesha's shores. It was they who had learned to listen to Aethir's song. They who learned to appease the Ravager with tribute, with dance,
Mga tropa natin, ang hirap yayain maglaro eh.
and the song of all living things. It bare me the
May
Vaughn
tayo lang lagi naglalaro.
knows, even a Paxo, who is to say? The Thane, for many lives, she had amassed Why crap, but the trick we lay met.
Kasing trip na laro nila ba?
That's what came next. Rebel for a lot, but like the genus. I know on her word knows, but what the heroes ever.
Iba-iba nga eh.
Some genus, how fitting.
Yung nilaro nila dati, yung nilalaro yata nila ngayon. Ano?
Into whatever its motive. Even our God, it was
Ay, puta, not enough space.
but in that travelers who knew
Gago.
most. I thought
Ay, di-delete ko.
I gave, which is not so. Perhaps Flash, the flying one, I know not. Only that, as sure as there is,
Manage.
it was perhaps a,
Ano bang pwedeng yun, ano?
get its foot taken.
Boss art. Apex.
The pan must put I forever to
Uninstall ko tong Divinity, hindi naman ako marunong laruan yan eh.
Uninstall ko na.
Ba't tinuloy mo ba yung Divinity mo?
Hindi na rin.
Yan na. Updating. 2 hours and 45 minutes. 2 hours and 32 minutes. 2 hours and 24 minutes. 2 hours and 16 minutes. 2 hours and
Sakto.
2 hours
bukas ka na
and
nakakalaro
6
niya.
minutes.
Ano tumutunog
2
na
hours.
kanina pa?
2 hours. Bumababa.
Anong bumababa?
Yung oras. 1 hour and 45 minutes na lang.
Right? Let's do this.
Ay, ng internet ko ng bilis.
One hour and 37 minutes. Ano, Remnant 1 muna tayo pa sa naghihintay. 1 hour and 37 minutes na lang naman eh. Walang laro mo ngayon.
Ha? Dali, maghanap na ako ng ano. Ng checkpoint.
Ay, hindi, sige, ano, maglaro ka lang kasi i-stream, ano, i-live stream mo sa ano. Dito sa ano, panoorin. Dito sa ano, dito sa... Ang pangalan na ito, Discord, sa Discord.
Discord?
Pwede mag... Oo,
Ano ba bagal internet ko nun?
hindi ko sure.
Sige, subukan natin.
Subukan natin. 1 and 40 minutes.
Discord pala ako dito, baka ako naglalagay. Wala ka naman dito eh.
Sa Discord, online na ako. To, hindi lang. Online ko lang. Naka-INV. Online. Yan, online na.
Lagi na kayo.
Yaya kasi mag-Dota yung mga tropa ko eh.
Hindi ka makapangli.
Hindi, mga tropa ko ng high school, yung college to. Yung sinamahan ko nga kahapon. Hindi makita. Nathan, share your screen. Yung aso dyan, boss, hindi na mamatay.
Hindi.
Forever mong kasama. Pares ang pala gameplay sa ano. Pangalan ng aso niya, dog.
Di napapalitan yan.
Ay, hindi na papalitan. Yesha yan ah. Nangyari ka. Diba Yesha yan?
Oo.
Nakurap sila.
Oo. Kasalanan ng karakter mo ganun.
Yung karakter ko.
Kung hindi pumasok yung karakter natin sa Yesha, hindi makasunod yung route. Kasalanan ng karakter mo.
May kasalanan rin yung karakter mo. Hanap damay.
Ay, gago!
You're dead!
Ang daming mga bangin-bangin dito eh. Dati sa Remnant 1, wala. Hindi ka mahuhulog sa mga bangin-bangin dito, mahuhulog.
Meron kaya? Yung kinalaban natin yung sa sa race. Yung parang Yeti. Ang ina yun.
Oo nga, pero mas dito, mas tago yung mga bangin-bangin dito. Hindi mo mahalata eh.
Ay, napatulad niya. Yung aso ba, immortal?
I can't carry any more of that.
Magaganyan yung kaya ako aso.
No more room.
Hindi mo mahalata. Gago to ah.
Gago, pinatay mo! Pinatay mo ito.
Sinawag niya ako eh, gago siya.
Pinatay mo kawawa yung usa. Nagagalit yung pita niyan.
Puta, puta.
Oh. Parang ganyan yung mga kalaban sa Ward 13. Ay, Ward Prime.
Sayang suluhin ang ating mga. Uy!
Ayun oh. Ward Prime yan eh. Yung yung Shadow Red na ang hirap talaga ano. Ito yung nahulog yung ito.
Ano ba? Uy! Hulog lang.
Yung sa Harry Potter eh. Patronus. Ano yun?
Ang dami. Nge.
Yun yung class mode mo? Class mode yun, boss?
Oo.
Tinira mo?
Baba kaya ako dito.
May ex-cultist ba dyan? Na parang ex-cultist na ano?
Walang cultist dito. Tsaka may mga class dito na kailangan mong hanapin.
Class mode na kailangan hanapin?
Hindi, yung class. O kunyari, hunter. Pero
Oh.
hindi mo ano gagawin, boss sa baba, naririnig ka.
Wala pwede tumalon? Ba't tayo makalabati?
In-explore ko muna yung sa taas. Ito na yata yung dadaan ng sunod. Ay, sa baba.
Mag-heal ka kaya?
Wala pa naman akong mode. Gago, pag nag-heal ako, di nag... Pag nag-heal ako
Oh, may item gusto mo ba oh? May item tuloy ba ulit? Kuhin mo, sayang yun. Na baka sing-sing yun o ano. Hindi na pala explore mo.
na laban. Wala pa.
Ay, kapag boss pala dyan, boss. Ano, hindi na... Yung papasok ka pa sa dungeon nila, gano'n. Diretso laban
Boss
agad.
to eh. Aray!
Boss, ano mo yung buhay niya?
Nakunat, gago.
Oo, nag-heal. Nag-heal, boss.
Uy! Baka mahulog pa.
Ano daw patay mag-isa yan? Kailangan ng
Aray!
gano'n. Para ako unang mamatay, tapos pain. Kasi ikaw pa yung tatapos.
First 10 seconds ka lang. Dating gawin.
Nung umalis ka nung last time nung naglaro tayo, nung isalis, pag na napahurang mo ulit, ayos mo yan. Yung isa yung isa kaya kong patayin. Yung ano na, wala na eh.
Go.
Na, hindi mo kaya ba?
Kaya,
Kulang pa. Wala ka ng dragon heart eh. Sniper.
yun, paghiwalay ko silang dalawa. Sakit na. Sakit bumawas. Ito banatan mo, putak, inaaso to.
Gago, nagsaamon.
Sana lang.
Kunin mo na illuminate boss. Bago ako mamatay, at least nakuha mo.
Aray, aray!
Halika, kunin mo muna bago ka mamatay.
Ay, naka! Kunat. Lapit na mag-New Year, gago. 2 trade points.
Yun, 1 and 44 seconds pa rin. Balik-balik. 8 GB. Dami sing na ano ngayon. Dami naglalaro.
Dahil mabati ng Happy New Year, tangi.
Oo.
Mabubuhay kaya yung isa? Sana hindi.
Subukan mo.
Dito tayo, ang asot suod na suod.
Wala bang ano dyan? Yung katulad ng Mudtooth tonic para pampahaba ng buhay?
Meron. Pero hindi ako gumagamit
Alamin mo.
ng ganun.
Ha?
Hindi ako gumagamit ng ganun.
Bakit? Pampahaba ng buhay. At least, may fight ang isa.
Here they come.
Dami.
Wala ka bang summon na bot?
Yung mga summon dito, pag nag-summon ka, may yung buhay ka pala.
Buhay mo?
Oo, siyempre.
Ba't ganun? Ano?
Bayad na buhay. Hindi gaya dati.
Hindi ko gaya sa 1.
Dami na yung mga nagpapaputok sa labas.
Pagbalik doon, tayo na full health pa rin. GG.
Hindi, hindi na lang na. Isa na lang oh.
Bakit ka ng damage niyo?
Patamaan yung
yung aso yung ano, trip mo.
bago talaga.
Huwag mo lang milihin. Distansya ka na rin.
Pintado to eh. Oh. Bilis ng bullet speed ng bala. Kailangan talaga magtago.
Pod duration. Maganda. Ano yan? Parang rune?
Nilalagay sa ano, sa Dragon Heart.
Gamit. Sabi siya may gamit. Ay, kuha mo na.
Uy!
Yan, bulat yun. Yun yung sa word prime eh. Putang ina yun.
Dito sa Remnant to, hindi mo na kailangan tawag dito. Hindi mo na kailangan i-upgrade yung armor mo. Wala na upgrade na armor dito.
Wala nang plus plus?
Wala.
Boring.
Pero yung lahat, weapons, Dragon Heart,
Pati, no?
i-upgrade na lahat.
Fully upgrade na lahat.
Pati mga rune. Sa daanan. Wala mahanap.
Talong ka dyan sa baba. Baka nasa baba.
Dito bayan. Dito kanina sa taas.
Tingnan ko. Ano.
Yun, to.
Ba't ganun? Ah, yun, 1 and 36 minutes. 11 GB. Ang tagal pa rin. Di anong palang mechanics niyan boss? Anong ina-upgrade mo sa pagpalakas ng ano? Traits lang.
Lahat nga, weapon.
Di yung traits. Max na rin?
Pero may mga ano pa to eh, may mga bagong... May mga mutator na bago yan. Bago eh. Na-upgrade din yun.
Oh, okay. So yun, pwedeng palit-palitan yun. Depende sa playstyle mo. Kunyari, fire rate, ganun. Tapos,
Bababa ba ako mamaya?
ah,
Bababa ako mamaya.
baba pa siya. Nakabababa.
Ang lakas. Bingtong lakas ang puta. Yung aso ko,
Ano sabi
kawawa
mo?
sa baba.
Bababa ka sa, dyan sa map.
Oh, samahan ko yung aso ko. Kawawa siya.
Ah, bababa ka sa bahay nyo.
Oh, dito naman ako sa bahay.
Di ba kami dyan?
Aso.
Di ba dito ano? Dito mo tayo parents ko doon.
Ano sila sa badger? Kailangan mo pa kamatay dito. Wala nang kukunin.
Save mo muna.
Wala nang save boy.
Pwede mag-trade sa mga ano, players, between players. Tapos,
Players.
uwi ka Ward 13. Anong ano dyan? Anong pangalan ng ano, home base?
Ward 13.
Ward 13 pa rin?
Oh.
Di nandun pa rin sila, ano, sila Ford, sila ano.
Oh.
Uwi ka nga. Uwi ka nga, boss.
Ano ko nga? Wait. Bakit tapos dito eh?
Yung map sa Ward 13, ganun pa rin.
Hindi. Lumabas na sila eh. Kasi sa Earth wala ng route. Kaso, lahat ng world, yung iba-ibang world may route na.
So, kasalanan pa natin, no?
Kasalanan.
Bakit? Ako yung bida, tayo na, natalo ko nga yung ano, yung last boss eh.
Minsan may lumalabas dito na mini boss. Look! Hindi lumabas! Super! Nakita ko kanina port. Sana yun? Yun! kaso sa XP.
Okay, this is it.
10 GB.
Ano oras na? 59.
11:49.
Dito yung next. Ito. Pwede na yata ako mag-craft dito. May bagong armor dito.
Pwede pala mag-craft dyan.
Oh.
So yung mga, ayun, ito yung pang-summon, yung ano.
Kailangan ko pa ng isang Blood Moon Essence. Para makuha ko.
Yung ano, yung gamitin mo yun, boss, yung soul anchor yan. Maganda yung item yan.
Hindi naman ako summoner eh.
May aso ka eh.
Hindi naman summon yan eh.
Pala partner yan.
Kailangan ko ng Blood Moon Essence. Labas ko dito. Ilang oras pa yung ano mo? Download mo?
Ano na, 135 minutes pa rin eh. 1 and 35 minutes. 16 GB na. Ba't tayo may craft yung ano, yung mga item dun?
Gusto ko nga yung blade.
Blade of Ghoul.
Armor, hindi naman mas malakas sa armor ko. Silbi. Yung blade na lang ang gagawin. Kaya yung sigsig.
Nakakalito yung map, 3D. Parang radar. Ay, sa mata.
Ito na yata. 9/10 lang. Yan. Pwede rin to. Increases all damage dealt by 20%. Iba na yung effect ng soul anchor dito.
Ano nga, ano?
Ay, nang yan sa'yo eh.
Natin grades. Ano, mas mataas yung armor mo, no?
Nasaan? Wala naman ah.
Yeah, 61. Sanguine.
Iisip ko.
Ano yan, boss? Sanguine.
Nasaan?
Yan sa baba. Dito, ito, baba ng armor. Sanguine Vapor. Para saan yan?
Lifesteal.
Eh, ano yan? Consumable?
Oh.
Oo.
Pipiliin ko.
So yung aso considered a summon pa rin yun? Hindi. Yung damage niya.
Hindi kasi
Kung may sa'yo,
considered
may
yun. 27 po.
Mas mababa nga yung damage niya.
Ano naman siya astig
Machete.
eh.
Machete. Parang ano yung weapon ni Kratos. Ay, pwede ka mag-suot ng ano? 4 na ring?
Oh.
4 na ring to isang
Dalawa
pendant.
na yung archetype ko eh.
Anong pinalakas mo dyan? Hunter at saka Trapper.
Handler. Handler yung may aso.
Handler yung may aso. Akala ko hunter kasi yung kanina, yung nakikita mo yung kalaban, akala ko yun yung archit yung ano niya.
Hunter nga isa. Kasi isa yung may aso, handler.
Ah, okay. Kunyari pag namatay yung aso ko, saan mo pwedeng buhayin?
Bigla lang nabubuhay.
Oh.
Maraming makuha na kalaban dito.
Buha ka bago, boss. Hindi eh. Buha ka bago.
Hindi pwede.
Sabay tayo. Para makapaka ulit.
What the hell happened here?
Kay Lua. Kay Lua. Ay puta, boss yan. Boss yan. Ba't pinalitan mo yun, ano, yung blade?
Ito, boss.
Boss yan, boss. Explore mo.
Ina.
No more room.
Yan yung nakuha ko na yung weapon yun sa sa Remnant 1, yung tawag dito yung machine pistol. May password pala. Puta. Sa word prime yun.
Yung alin?
Yung machine pistol, yung shotgun mo. Meron na ako niyan sa ano. Oh, yung gamit mo shotgun. Meron yan sa ano sa Remnant 1. Ba't parang ang hirap maghanap? Ang hirap ng ammo dyan. Mahirap maghanap ng ammo dyan, oh.
Uy.
Ay!
Lo! Tanginang yan, may delay.
Shockwave yun. Shockwave yun.
Gago yun.
Pero meron pa rin dyan, boss, ano, yung boss dedicated na loot.
Not enough room.
Bababa muna ako.